It's so lovely to be here, actually, with you all. Because I started the Darshan when I came back from Europe. I started the Darshan in Mauritius, in Tamarin. And this is the last Darshan also. Because Thursday I will just give the blessing only, I will not do Darshan. So it's funny. I will start with singing one bhajan, actually. It's a Shabad which have been written by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, one saint from India. He wrote so beautifully about the nectar of our life. You know? This life which very often we don't appreciate. No? This life, which is so beautiful, you know, in 8.5 million species we receive this human life, still we always find fault. You know? When we look at our life, how much we can appreciate. We are happy for a short moment, and straight away we become sad. The happiness doesn't last for long. Even the sadness doesn't last for long. So both doesn't last. That means there must be something else to life that is everlasting. If happiness doesn't last, sadness doesn't last, problem doesn't last, that means there is something else. We say that we are eternal. There must be something else that lasts, but the saints and the sages, you know, talk about. So, in short, that's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji reminds, that we don't want short-term happiness. We don't long for problem, but we don't also long to be liberated. Because liberation is also short-term. You know, you're happy to be liberated from your problem. Does it last for long? No, it doesn't last for long. Short time only. So it's not permanent. What we long for Himself. We long for God. We long for that realization, for His grace. But for that to go away, we have to stop, carry on, and see, throughout our life we always say, no, I can't. How many times have you said, no, I can't? So many times. And it is said from a child, from the time the child is born until he's 14, he has heard at least 15,000 times, no, you can't. So that have stuck so deeply in the subconscious, you know, that you can't. But if the amount of time that you say to yourself that you can't, you start to take a different approach to it. You know, say, no, I can't, yes, but I can try. You don't speak a language. What do you say? No, it's very difficult, I don't want to speak that language. But if you invest once, you know, you learn one word per week. In 1 year you will learn 52 words. No? You will be able to make some sentences. The same thing, you know. We say we can't sing. Huh? So imagine how many of you said we can't sing? How many of you? I guess all of you sing then. So all of you sing beautifully? We'll see afterwards. So you see the amount of time you say, no, I can't sing. Imagine you will learn, you know, just think you will learn only 1 or 2 bhajan or 2 songs in a year. I don't think that you will sing like professionally, but the time that you invest in trying sing, at least the neighbor will not close the windows when you are singing. Because very often when you sing, the neighbors close quickly the window. So it is problematic for them also. My goodness, it started now. Probably that's what will happen for your neighbor later on when you start singing. But if you train yourself, even in a year you learn 2 songs, at least you have learned something. Better than nothing. You have moved forward with your life. The same thing in our life, we find excuses for not doing so many things. We have pain. For 5 years, Guruji, I have been with back pain. Have you done anything to sort that out? Yes, I've been to so many doctors. But doctor can't. Doctor don't understand what pain you have. He have read about it, he can give you some medicine, but the medicine for everybody, it is different. Your whole system is different. So how will it be the same? It will not be the same. But if you take time and invest in doing just 15 minutes of exercise every day, some yoga every day, for sure your back pain, by now you will be doing Surya Namaskar even. I was reading about Samat Ramdas, one saint from Maharashtra, from India. He was doing 1,200 Surya Namaskar every day. How fit was he? When we talk about saints, we think that saints are just sitting there and praying to God. No, they keep also reminding everybody through the example, but they have to look after this temple. We have to look after also this temple, because when we enter the temple, we enter the church, If we keep the same mentality, then nothing change. Change must happen. And change happen when you take that opportunity of life which have been given to you and change when life is still there. Not when you're lying on the dead bed waiting for death to come, then say, no, now I will do some compromising with God, I will change. But then it's too late. And this is, you see, now we are celebrating Easter time now. One of the big things that people talk about is, somebody asked me a question in Darshan today, what about sin? And I have sinned so much. This is a big thing. But what is sin, really? Sin is something that makes your mind agitated. When your mind gets agitated, that is sin. For example, you see, you have not spoken, a son didn't speak with his father for a very long time. They had a fight because he brought a nice girl for him, and he said, Father, I want to get married. Father said, no, don't. Said, okay, you don't want me to get married? I'm leaving. I'm not anymore your son. You pack your stuff and you leave. Left home. So you're gone. Have the father forgotten about you? No. Have you forgotten about father? Maybe, yes, because very often we don't appreciate that. So we can't forget about it because we always run towards something that we want. As long as we get what we want, we don't know anything else. So it's fine. Along the line, some years, you hear a phone call from your father, from your brother. Brother said, no, father is very sick, and very often he been remembering you. Would you come at least to see him for the last moment? Because the doctor have said he's going to depart any moment. Then you say, oh, that man didn't care for me. That man was always opposed to me. And that is what our mind does say. And you say, okay, I will go. I will see after my work, if I had time, I would pass by. Around 3 o'clock, you hear from your brother again that please don't come now. You don't need to bother about. He have already gone. He died. What will happen at that moment? The mental agitation. No? The mind starts to become agitated. Why I have not gone? No? After that, then you bring the medicine. So the mind starts to get agitated. Then you start to think, oh, for sure he loved me. Out of his love, he have said that to me. But he didn't know anything else. But it's always afterwards that we regret. No? We do something, but we regret afterwards. But that regret itself, it is, sins come also in that form. No? What you have done and what you have not done, but yet bring an agitation to the mind itself. So that's what the saints and the sages want you to free yourself, That's why, you see, Jesus had crucified himself, for that, no? So that you can be free from that mental agony. But what do? You hold upon that mental agony. You torture yourself. How can you be free if the mind is always determined in a certain way? And this is the beauty of being a human being. Animal, they learn until they come to a certain age only. While they have reached adulthood, they can't learn anymore. Then they are driven by the instinct. But us humans, we can still learn to become better. We can still learn to appreciate ourselves. We can still learn to appreciate others, to appreciate the gift which God has given us. And that's what this life is about, to have that appreciation. Not when it is too late, when you still have time to appreciate it. And above all, to forge a relationship with that God which He has sent you here. But to have a relationship with Him, you have to get to know Him. To get to know Him, you have to get to know yourself. Very irony, eh? So, that's what you have to do. For love, true love to awake inside of you, you have to dive deep within your heart and find that love firstly inside of you. If you have something, you can give. If you don't have it, what would you give? I love you, I love you, I love you. That's what you will say all the time. Without any meaning into it, it will not bring you anywhere. So when you have that love, then you can pour it. Even without saying any word, that love will reflect through you. So if you can sing, which I don't think you can sing, because like I said, you have to learn it. But it's one of the most beautiful bhajan, which Guru Nanak Dev Ji have wrote for myself. I like it very much. That my soul longs for the love of your lotus feet. You don't long for anything else. You don't long for the kingdom, they don't long for liberation, because liberation is just a word. But your lotus feet, that's what I long for. मन प्रीत चरण कमलारे मन प्रीत चरण कमलारे मन चरण कमलारे मन प्रीत चरण कमलारे मन प्रीत चरण कमलारे मन प्रीत चरण कमलारे राज न चाहो मुकुट न चाहो राज न चाहो मुकुट न चाहो मन प्रीत चरण कमलारे मन प्रीत चरण भजन तुम्हारे भजन तुम्हारे अत सुंदर मन मोहन प्यारे अत सुंदर मन मोहन प्यारे सब
Raj